Alright, welcome back. If you've been following along, we just finished in the last video comparing uh, decimals, and we did number 6. So now we're going to talk about rounding decimals. Okay, and rounding decimals is very similar to rounding integers or whole numbers. Okay, so let's just do 7 and let's do 8. Alright, and then after that, we'll talk about converting fractions to decimals. Okay, so here's 7. So 7. 7 says copper's weight is 0.00023. That is the weight of copper in a 150 pound man. Okay. And then what else do we have? It says copper's weight of 0.00023 rounded to the nearest 10,000th place. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to round to the nearest 10,000th place. Okay. Well, the nearest 10,000th place, all right, would be this 2 right here. So we're going to round to this 2. Why? Because this is again tens, tenths. This is hundredths. This is thousandths. This is 10,000ths, and this is 100,000ths. So we're going to round this one if we can. Well, to round this one, we have to look at the number directly to the right of it, which is this 3 right here. All right, and we have to ask ourselves, is this bigger than 5 or greater? Is this equal to 5 or greater than 5? It is not. So just like before, we don't increase the 2 and we leave it there, and then what we do is we just get rid of the 3. That's the one difference. All right, so say we had 2, 3, 3, and we were going to round this. All right, this is a whole number. This is not a decimal. If we're going to round this number, we'd look at this 3 and we go, okay, this 3 is less than 5, so we rewrite this as 2, 3, 0. All right. All right. The difference between decimals and whole numbers is we keep the 0. With this one, we just get rid of we keep this unit, I should say. We keep the 1 unit, okay? Because if we didn't keep the 1 unit, then it just turned into 23, and now 23 is not 230. It's smaller than 230. It doesn't work. All right. But what we do here is we don't keep the 100,000 unit. We just get rid of it, and we leave it in the 10,000s unit, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. So let's do 8. 8A and then 8B. Okay. All right. So let's change colors. So here's 8A. All right, and let's go ahead and do it. So 8A is sodium. Well, sodium, if you haven't memorized it yet, we've talked about sodium before. It's 0.165, and right now this is in the thousands position. This is hundredths, and this is tenths. And it says round to the nearest hundredth position. Well, that's this one right here. Well, we look at the 5, and we see that 5 is indeed bigger than, it's indeed 5. It's not bigger, but it's 5 or bigger. That's what we need to have. Well, it is a 5, so we round this 6 to a 7, and that's the answer. Let's take a look at 8B. 8B, it says cobalt. Well, we just did cobalt up above. Remember, this was up above no, this was iron, sorry. Cobalt was in the last video, and it was 0.0004. So let's write that out. Cobalt was 0.00024. Okay. When it said, and this is the 100,000th position, just like this one is the 100,000th position. This is the 100,000th position. So what we're going to do is we're going to round, and what does it say to the 10,000th position? So it's this one right here. So look at the 4, and is it that equal to or greater than 5? And no, it is not. So we drop the 4, and we make this 0.0002, and that's it. All right, so enough with rounding. Let's talk about converting fractions to decimals. Okay, so 9. Let's do 9. 9, and if you are following along with your book, it is page 310. Okay, so 9. Alright, so here we go, 9. Alright, so what do we have here? We have 7/10. Oh, did I say decimals to fractions? We're converting fractions to decimals. So anyway, um, it says here 7/10 of students in your class have a family dog or a cat. So then it says write 7/10 as a decimal, right? So 7/10 as a fraction would be this, 7/10. Okay, well, write as a decimal. We've gone over this before. It's 0.7. Okay, we start with a 7. Here's this a point here that we usually don't use, and with a 10, we just move it back 1. So that's why we got 0.7. All right, so that's how you go to a decimal. Now that one was an easy one, all right, because it's a 10. When there's a 10 underneath a number, it's always easy. You just move it back 1 decimal if it's a 10. If it's 100, you move back 2 decimals, and so forth and so forth. But what if we have something like we see in number 10? So let's do number 10. All right, so here we go. Let's do number 10. So here's 10a. So we have 2/3. Well, 2/3. Okay, so how are we going to change this to decimal? Well, we need to do long division. So we do 2, and we're dividing it by 3. Does 2 go into 3? No, it doesn't, so we put a 0 there. And then we put a decimal, and then we bring down a 0. Okay, where does that 0 at? Well, all numbers have zeros after them if you want to. You could have like a 5, and then you could have a point, and then 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, you have 39, and then 0.0000. All right, those zeros are there. You just usually don't use them. Okay. All right, so that's where the 0 came from. So how many times does 3 go into 20? It goes into it 6 times. 18. Bring it down, and that's 2. All right. Bring down another 0. How many times does 3 go into 20? Again, 6 times. All right. Put 18 down here. 2, bring down to 0. Again, 6 times. Let's fix this a little bit. All right, 6 times. 18. 2, another 0. So you can see a pattern. It's always going to be 6. So this is 0.666666. And you could either write this as 0.67, or you could say it's equal to 0.66 with a bar on top, like that. All right, both of those work. All right, let's make some more room. Okay, so now 10b. Okay, 10b is 7 divided by 24. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We do the 7 inside right here. On the outside, we do a 24. And then we just divide. So how many times can 24 go into 7? Well, 0 times. So we put a point there. I mean a 0 and then a point. Then bring down to 0. Okay? How many times can 20... Oh, by the way, this is wrong. I apologize. This is 25. So this... I just look, see, sometimes you make mistakes. So this is actually, I apologize. Let's use a different number, color anyway. So 7/25. Sorry about that. So, okay, here we go. So we have a 25 on the outside, and we have a 7 on the inside. How many times can this go into this? 0 times. So we put a decimal there. All right. Decimal point, and then bring down to 0. All right, how many times can this go into it? Well, it's 2 times. So that's 50 and 20. And then we bring down another 0. How many times can this go into this? Well, I would say it's 8 times, right? Because 4 times 25 is 100. We need to get to 200, so it's 8, so it's 200. And so that's 0, so the answer to this is 0.28. All right, 0.28, okay? And there's the answer. All right, so let's do 10C. 10C is 7/24. Okay, so in this case, I can do 7 divided by 24. All right, so what does that equal? Well, we got a 7 there on the inside, 24 on the outside. Let's do it. Can it go into it? No, it can't. Put a point there. How many times does it go into 70? Well, it goes into it 2 times. That's 48. All right, and it's going to be 2 there and another 2 here. Okay. And then what do we need to do? Well, let's extend this out. Does it go into 22? No. So put a 0 there. Does it go into this? Indeed. Does it go into it? Does it go into it 10 times? No, it does not, because that would be 240. But I believe it goes into it 9 times. So 24 times 9 equals 6 and 3, and this is 180. All right, plus 3, or so 18 plus 3 equals 21, I do believe. So yes, like so. And then there's going to be a remainder of 4 right there. Okay. And then we bring down a 0. And then, well, what do we have? Well, how many times can this go into this? Well, it's 1 time. So that's 24. All right, and then we bring down this is going to be 6, and this is going to be 1, so it's 16. And can bring down 0, and how many times can 24 go into this? Well, I think it's going to be 24 times what? If I do 24, let's see here. If I do 20 times 6, that's 120. And then what I'm doing I'm just doing a trial and error. So I think 6. Let's try that out. So this times this is 4, and then 2 there, and now okay, so it's 144. If I did do if I added 24 to that, basically it was 24 times 7. Yeah, it's gonna be too big. It would be 8 there, and then 2 there. So it'd be 68. Way too big. So we have to stop there. And then we put a 6 up here, and then when we do subtraction here, this is going to be a 6 there, and this is going to be a 1 there, so it's going to be 16 again, and then 160, and then it's going to be another 6 after that, and then you just continue onward and onward. You can see a pattern after that. So it tells us on 10 that if it's a repeating decimal, and if it's a non-terminating decimal, then we need a round, and we need a round to the 100th place. Well, the 100th place is right here. So the answer to this is 0.29. Okay? All right, let's do this last one. Let's do the last problem. Okay, that is 10D. And 10D is 9 divided by 50. Oh, 50. Like so. Well, let's do it. So we have 9 on the inside, 50 on the outside. Does it go into this? No. Put a point there. Bring down to 0. How many times does this go into this? It's 1 time. 50. All right, so 40 doesn't go into that. But does 50 go into 400? Indeed it does. And how many times does it go into 400? I'd say 8 times. So, oh, no. I think I did this wrong. Okay, I did do it wrong. It's not 50. Well, it ends there. So that's how, that would be the answer of that one. 0.18. But let's do this again. It was 9 over 40. I apologize. 9 over 40. Now, let's do that. So it's going to be 9 on the inside, 40 on the outside. All right, so now a 0 there. Let's use different colors. All right. Put a point there. All right, 0 there, point, and then bring a 0 down. All right, so how many times does this go into this? Well, it's 2 times. That's 8, 80, and 10. Bring down to 0. How many times does this go into this? Again, another 2 times. All right, so that's 80. Bring this down. Now it's 20. Now we have 200. How many times does 4 go into 200? 40 go into 200, I should say. Well, that's 5. That's 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20, plus a 0 is 200, so it's 5 times. And so, even though this is greater than this is in the thousandths place, it's still going to be 0.0225 because it says only round to the hundredth place. if it does not end, and this one does end. Anyway, so that's it, and that's the end of 5.4. We're done with the videos for 5.4. Hopefully you've watched all of them. Hopefully you get them, and hopefully this will help you with your homework. All right, that's it. Take care. Bye.